like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who can bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground out the job. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
Oh man, I ain't even know I was gonna come back to back like this, y'all. But y'all know I only do it unless I got some breaking news, man. And that's exactly what I have, man. So like, share, subscribe as y'all come on in, man. If you guys haven't subscribed, do so. All y'all gotta do is click that link, the subscribe button, and then after you hit the subscribe button, you guys can you'll see a link come up, say all. Click all. That way you guys will get all the updates when I release video content on this YouTube channel. And also, if y'all can hear me in the comments, man, press one. Salute to everybody that's tapped into this video, man. And I'm back at y'all with yet another one right now because there is some more breaking news with this P. Diddy situation, man. And it is unbelievable breaking news. And I told you guys the other day, and let me give a shout out real quick before I get into this article, just to the first few people that was in here: Danielle, Brenda, Sheila, Luzbel, Belinda, Barbara, She's Pretty, By the Book, VIP, HB, Sherry, Neon, X Factor, Chris, Melissa, Todd, Big J, Shy, Coconut, Cricket, D, Carla. Salute to everybody in the building. Look, I told y'all the other day about what happened with Diddy and his legal team being hit with a absolute slammer. Now, Diddy's legal team came out and they asked for bail for a fifth time. They applied for bail. They actually got a date on November the 22nd. Now, if you go back, remember I told you guys that there was a raid that was announced, that there was going to be on that prison because remember, Diddy lawyer had complained about the prison conditions in MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center. Well, guess what? It seems like the feds used Diddy's lawyer and what he said against them to be able to, I would say, cover something that they were going to do, right? Now, the feds, and I'm going to tell you guys something. When Diddy's lawyer said that the jail conditions were horrible, they had reportedly wanted to seek him to be transferred, but that wasn't the case. He was not transferred. In fact, Diddy was taken from isolation where he was under watch and he was put into a group setting, like a dorm. Now, in that dorm, there had been a lot of different reports that Diddy had been running the dorm. Guys were fighting over making this dude's bed, things like that, and that basically he was controlling a lot of things that was going on. There was reports that Diddy was getting more privileges, getting more showers, being able to, eat decent foods and stuff like that, other than what some of the other inmates were eating. There's just allegations of different things that was coming out about that. Well, guess what? There was also a report that came out that, and it said in the report, now they never put these reports public, but they put this one public, that there was going to be a raid of that prison and a check of the prison to make sure that, there was going to be an investigation as far as there's going to be a check, a search to see the conditions of that jail. Now, apparently, you guys, that wasn't what that was all about. that was about Diddy. And the reason why I said that was about Diddy is because of this. That paper I showed y'all yesterday that came out the day before yesterday on Friday night of, or 2 days ago, of from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, that paper I told you guys broke down multitude of evidence that they had compiled against Diddy since he been in jail. So since Diddy came to jail, the feds were secretly watching him. Now, in that writing, the feds said that not only in jail did P. Diddy violate the jail rules, they said that P. Diddy, they had over 25 recordings of his phone calls, private messages, and everything. And also, they said that Diddy broke jail rules, used other people's numbers, I think it's BOP numbers, to make calls, three-way calls, to call other contacts on the outside. They also have evidence of the Diddy using cell phones in that dormitory because Diddy was slipping. He should have known. I'm Diddy. Why are they taking me out of isolation? Normally, you have a celebrity like Diddy, who everybody was fearing. They said this dude was under a certain watch for his life. Why put him in a group setting? And they said they put him in a low security setting. Diddy should have already been on red flags, but he wasn't. He wasn't on red flags. Why would they just put you in a laxed, low security setting, which is what they had put Diddy in, right? And to the person who says only if they ask to be PC, that's not true, because you can still be put in that there if they have safety concerns over you, meaning you're a celebrity, they have safety concerns over you, and they're trying to protect your life at all costs. You understand what I'm saying? So what happened is that they moved Diddy out of that isolation into that group dorm because, and here's what I think that happened before I tell y'all what's going on right now. I think that the feds heard some things on Diddy's phone call where he was talking in code. I think the feds didn't have enough, but knew that if they got Diddy into a group setting, that maybe they could find more if they could set him up. So the feds said that Diddy had been doing this since close to when he got locked up. So that means probably about a week or so after he got locked up, when they let him out and put him over in that group setting, he had been doing that on the phone, but he had been, I guess, talking in code on the phone. And they wanted to know more, so they moved Diddy over to the dormitory area where they already had that entire setting, in my opinion, set up. Because Diddy had to have been given a burner phone that was tapped. And I mean a burner cell phone that was tapped, because there's no way that they could, if you have a cell phone in the jail, they're not tapping that number and finding what you're saying on that call unless they already pre-gave that phone to a person to give to Diddy. So, because they have recordings on cell phones and they have the text messages. So when Diddy went to that small dorm, they already, the setup was in when Diddy went to that small dorm. The fix was in. So Diddy goes to that small dorm. He's given a cell phone. He uses a cell phone not only to talk to his sons, his lawyer, other contacts on the outside, but he uses the text message app thinking he wasn't going to get caught, but didn't know the whole time they were shadowing his phone. That's how, in all this paperwork y'all see right here on the screen, that's how the feds got all this information y'all see on the paperwork right there. Because that phone was tapped. That phone was tapped. So then go back to, y'all heard about, oh, they're going to do a prison check, a prison raid. That had already happened. They told y'all late. That had already happened. And they had already compiled and gathered the evidence against P. Diddy, that he was doing all of these things. That's why they said in the writing P. Diddy had organized and orchestrated his sons. Look at the paperwork. They said that he orchestrated his sons to run down on people and to basically clean things up. He ordered them. So they accused him of breaking those jail rules. And then they also said not only did they have recordings, not only did they have the messages that he sent, not only did they have the evidence that he used third parties, BOP numbers in prison to make those phone calls to other people. They listened to all that, they had all that tracked down. They also did a search. And in that search, they found evidence. In the evidence they found evidence that P. Diddy had paid that girl from Dirty Money Group, Kalina Harper, to make statements favorable to him against the other lady, Dawn Richards, who had filed a lawsuit against Diddy and put Kalina Harper's name in the lawsuit as a witness to Diddy's criminal acts. Hence, Kalina Harper coming out and basically siding with Diddy and going against the other girl, saying, "Oh, well, I didn't see any of this. Diddy, I didn't see Diddy do any of these things." Right? And also in the paperwork, if you read it, they say they have the money trail in the paperwork. They say they can prove that the money was sent to buy certain people's testimony and silence within the media. Also, they accused and said that they had evidence through phone calls and through messages that they blocked out some of these messages in here that Diddy instructed his sons to do certain acts. They had that right there on that paperwork, official paperwork, right there. But now, here comes the juggler that y'all know Diddy is in trouble. Today, just now, P. Diddy's lawyers have filed an emergency hearing, and they are basically accusing the feds of an illegal search and seizure. Now, I'm going to show y'all the paperwork right now to get that evidence. So Diddy's lawyers, in my opinion, they want that evidence thrown out because they want to say that it was an illegal search and seizure. But peep what they did. What the feds did was they put out that report because Diddy's lawyers were complaining about the jail conditions in MDC. So they put out a report that they wasn't related to Diddy. They were just doing a jail-wide sweep to check all of the conditions and everything throughout that jail. And they said they found cell phones, weapons, and drugs in their search, right? But they never said anything about Diddy then. But check this out right here. To the brother who says fake report, well, guess what, sir? You must think Diddy's lawyers are fake, because if this report is so fake, why did Diddy's lawyers just file this paperwork right now this morning? You know, F with me. You know I got it. I just landed in Europe, nigga. Shopping bag, I'm a tourist, nigga. Reebok on, I just do it, nigga. So like I said, Ticket don't run his mouth and don't come without the facts, you bum rat. Now, like I said, November the 18th, 2024, letter to the judge from Diddy. Dear Judge Summeranium, the defense counsel, this is from Diddy's lawyers. Y'all know I got the paperwork. The defense counsel has recently learned that the prosecutors are in possession, but I'm capping. Ticket line. No, nigga, use a bitch ass nigga boy. They got his ass hook, line, and sinker. Because like I said, I told the truth the whole time, you lying, capping ass nigga. And if they didn't have no evidence, Diddy's lawyers wouldn't be putting out this letter. But let's read the letter and see Diddy's lawyers cry tears of disdain and tears of getting their ass kicked. Defense counsel has recently learned that the prosecutors are in possession. I don't think people understand English. The defense counsel, that means Diddy's lawyers. So I'm gonna break this down in layman's term for these fools, because these niggas are stupid on YouTube. The defense counsel, Diddy's lawyers, has recently learned, meaning since Friday, that the prosecutors are in possession. But you niggas said it wasn't no evidence, you dumb son of a you know what, of attorney-client privileged material. Oh, we finna cook today. Them niggas is mad now. They mad now, y'all. Now look at this, y'all. Including the defendant's own written
notes. And they already said that they have the evidence on those written notes that Diddy arranged the payments for Kalina Harper to make those statements in favorable of him against the other woman. Now let's keep going, right? It says this search and seizure are in violation of Mr. Combs' Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendment rights. Moreover, the targeted seizure of a pretrial's detainee's work, product, and privileged materials created in preparation for trial is outrageous government conduct amounting to a submissive due process violation. They know they got that shit on Diddy, and that nigga is done. It goes on to say, it's outrageous government conduct amounting to a substantive due process violation because the prosecutors are currently in possession. I thought y'all niggas said they ain't had no evidence though, you capping ass, chump ass niggas. Like I said, I stand on top of you niggas. Come to my comment section with that cap. Because the prosecutors, this is Diddy's lawyers writing this, dummy. Because the prosecutors are currently in possession of privileged material and are actively using this material to detain the defendant, who's Diddy, the defense requests an immediate evidentiary hearing. This is a emergent matter because the government has Mr. Combs' notes to his lawyers concerning defense witnesses and defense strategies. You know what? That is why, and I ain't even go to the next line yet. This nigga's toast. So that if the feds have letters where Diddy is arranging to pay this woman, and his lawyers are acknowledging that the feds have evidence, but they're saying that it's attorney-client privilege material. So that means did your attorneys know that you were paying Kalina Harper? That's a question we all need to know. The feds know because they got all the notes. Let's keep going. The government's opposition to the defendant's bail motion states that the trial prosecutors are currently in possession of possibly privileged materials such as notes recovered from the defendant's cell. DICT 69 at 12 N4. In fact, the government is in possession of written material that is absolutely privileged. This is a matter of grave concern. Most respectfully, must be addressed immediately for the following reasons. First, there is no dispute that the government is in possession of the privileged material. So Diddy's lawyers, you dumb son of a snitches, they're not even arguing that the feds have this evidence. They're admitting the feds have this evidence. Diddy's lawyers want this evidence thrown out because they're going to try to say it was on a fake search and seize and that it was an illegal search and seize. But it wasn't because, remember, Diddy's lawyer complained about the conditions of the jail. They infamously complained about the conditions of the jail. So what did they do? They had a jail-wide sweeping search to check out the conditions of the prison. Remember they told y'all, our search wasn't related to just Diddy. We had to do a whole search to check the safetiness of this entire jail, because Diddy's lawyers said that the jail is not a safe place. It's not a humane place. So now what they did was they did a shakedown of the entire jail. And in that shakedown, they're going through everything. And anybody that's locked up, when you in a shakedown, shit, ain't no rules in a shakedown, nigga. They can go hit you with a shakedown, and whatever they seize in that shakedown, nigga, if they got evidence against you, they can use that against you. That's a shakedown in the prison. That's when they have searches. They automatically have these searches in jails and in prisons for the safety of the jail and the prison. So when they have these searches, that's why you hear they uncover cell phones, they uncover notes, they uncover drugs, transactions, all that stuff. So Diddy's lawyers saying that, oh, no, 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 they do have, because listen to what Diddy's lawyers said. They said that this is true. The lawyers is saying, Diddy's lawyers saying that they do have this evidence. And they say they don't contest that the government has the evidence. Because look what it says. It says, in fact, the government is in possession of written material that is absolutely privileged. So they're saying that they have this material, but they're saying it's privileged material between them. They said this is a matter of grave concern that most respectfully must be addressed immediately for the following reasons. First, there is no dispute that the government is in possession of the privileged material. Second, until receiving the government's submission at 11:29 p.m. on Friday, November the 15th, 2024, the defense had never been told that Mr. Combs' notes were taken from him in a cell. Two, that those notes were given to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Three, and those notes were given to the trial prosecutors in this case, who then used the material in a filing to keep Mr. Combs detained. Re-request an immediate hearing at which the government shall provide answers to the following questions. First, who authorized the search of Mr. Combs' sleeping area, personal effects, and paperwork? Question mark. Second, who determined what paperwork to take? And third, who decided to give the paperwork to the U.S. Attorney's Office? Diddy ass is cooked. Them niggas know they got that, and they're admitting that the feds got the evidence. They want to use that it was an illegal search and seize of the evidence and have that evidence thrown out of court because they got them niggas dead to rights. Now, notice they didn't say nothing about them cell phones that they got on Diddy. They didn't say nothing about those recordings that they got on Diddy. And the goddamn feds outsmarted these bums. You know what the feds did? They didn't jump on Diddy's helmet. They did what I told you feds do. They let you F up for a minute. So ever since Diddy was in jail, they were allowing Diddy to break the jail rules without them saying anything because they wanted to compile a file on him. So what they're going to do, and this is what's going to happen, Diddy's lawyers don't put themselves in a do-low twist, nigga, because I'm going to tell you what they just did. Diddy's lawyers asking for an emergency hearing. Oh, the feds are going to agree to that emergency hearing. And you know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Diddy's got the craziest lawyers on earth. And this is why I tell y'all this. When they get to court and have that emergency hearing in a day or two, guess what's going to happen? When they ask the feds, why did you go and do a search of his personal effects? Do you know what the feds are going to say? They're going to play the recordings in the courtroom that they have of Diddy on the phones talking. They're going to show how Diddy had the illegal cell phone, and was using that cell phone to talk to people on the outside and send information through his sons and his family members and order other contacts who he was not authorized to talk to do certain things. They're going to say, we got this information based off of phone calls that we heard from Diddy, and then based off of information that we were able to and intel we were able to collect on Diddy's stay. which led us to a proper search and seizure. And we don't have to contact his lawyers when we go commit that search and seizure. So basically, the prosecution is going to tell you, they're going to whip out the evidence and show y'all why they had probable cause and the right to go search Diddy's dorm, because they're going to play those tapes that they had and they told y'all they have of Diddy on the phone talking on a hot phone, because somebody gave him a cell phone that had a burner on it, and Diddy didn't know that burner was being tapped. That's exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to show those text messages that Diddy was texting those people. You know, these text messages I showed y'all right here that they put in the actual filing. And they showed some of those text messages right there. Yeah, those text messages, y'all, are going to be put in the phone. Again, and shout out to Denise Hardy and the Cash App, the donation. Salute to you. Those text messages are going to be put in the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Are going to be put in the court in the hearing. So they're going to show the text messages, because remember when Diddy's sons ran down on Ray J? Well, the Fed said in this report that Diddy instructed them to run down on all these people. The Fed said they have evidence through phone call conversations. They said they had over 24 phone recordings from Diddy. They said Diddy been breaking jail rules since when he got into jail. They never ran down on him and charged him with that because they let his dumb ass compile a big file. So meanwhile, when they was making Diddy think that he was getting away with all of this was racking up information. So this wasn't even the jail phones that was being monitored. This was a cell phone as well. Because Diddy's not stupid enough to talk on the jail phone. On the jail phone, Diddy was just talking in code. But when Diddy got that cell phone and used that app to send those text messages, and they put those text messages in this writing, the feds did, where Diddy was ordering his sons to do certain things on his behalf on social media and running down on people, Diddy's done so. This is a dummy. So his lawyers are now saying that they don't have any doubt, and they are admitting that the feds have this evidence. They're not arguing against the evidence. They're arguing against the reasoning for the search and seize, but they can hide behind two different things. They can come to court and say, hey, we had a judge give us because remember, they don't have to tell Diddy's lawyers before they go raid his jail. If all they gotta do is get a judge to sign off, if they're gonna go search his cell, if they have evidence that this dude may have more incriminating evidence on him, especially when you're talking about a witness. That's why they put it in here. The girl Kalina is a witness. So if the feds just got that information, all they gotta do is go right to a judge. Hey, judge, well, we got information that Diddy's paying off witnesses right now. We need to go do a search and seizure of his jailhouse, of his jail cell, to actually get the information that we think we can find in the jail cell. Can we do that? Search? Boom, judge signs off. Up, they gonna go get it. But also they can hide behind the fact that in jails they automatically do, because Diddy's lawyer was on file. Now go look at that report when they said that they did the raid on the jail. They said it wasn't related to just Diddy. It was a jail-wide thing because of the safety of the jail. Because people were complaining about the safety conditions and the living conditions in Metropolitan Detention Center. Diddy's lawyer specifically was complaining about that. So they said they basically had a search and a investigation into the jail to see about these conditions. And when they do that, if they find cell phones, weapons, drugs, notes, that's on you. But my guess is they got Diddy tied down some other way and got a judge to secretly sign off on it, because Diddy's lawyers asked this question. And look at the question they asked last. They said, third, who decided to give this paperwork to the United States Attorney's Office? Well, I personally believe, and we'll find out in the next day or two, that the feds got a judge to sign off I believe that the feds took this information they had been compiling on Diddy because, like I told y'all, you don't trust anybody in jail, especially before you go to your trial. But Diddy got real comfortable apparently because they put him in a dorm with low security. Now he should have already been smart enough to know if they put, why are they putting me in a dorm of low security and I'm Diddy? This is a setup. I ain't saying nothing. Send me back to PC. I'd rather be by myself. They set Diddy up. They knew this dumbass dude was going to use other purposes to get to the public, and they set him up hook, line, and sinker, and he went for it. They put him right in a low security housing with a few other inmates. They put a mole in there who gave Diddy that cell phone. And Diddy used those third-party apps to contact his sons. You don't have to believe me. All you got to do is believe the paperwork. And not only that, believe all the articles that have reported on this, right? Believe all the other articles that have reported on this, right? Right? Like this one right here on your screen that I'm about to show you right now, right? Or like the AP article from the Associated Press that told y'all all the different things. So all they did was the good old give them bait. I told you guys, the feds work differently. When they come get you, they're going to hang your ass dry because they're not coming playing no games. They're not playing no games. So Diddy's lawyers are admitting, and they're not saying, listen, use y'all's minds. Diddy's lawyers ain't saying that they don't have incriminating evidence against Diddy. Diddy's lawyers' argument is how did they get permission to seize this evidence? That's what Diddy's lawyers' claims are. Because when they go to court on November the 22nd, this part that's black, that shows all of those different things Diddy was ordering his sons and other associates that he was unauthorized to talk to do, are going to be revealed this Friday in court. And they're going to reveal who else Diddy was talking to in court. Diddy goes back to court this Friday. And when he goes to court, that part that's in black, which is all of the quotes from Diddy's audio recordings that they have him on tape, using that cell phone to call not only his sons, because the article says that they didn't call his sons, right? Not his sons, right? Low budget gamer, you mad because I'm stepping on this bitch ass nigga? Stay mad, boy. And tell your mama I said make sure she had that apple pie hot and she had that butter pecan ice cream cold, nigga. So like I said before, I was rudely interrupted by a roach that I blocked in the comment section. This fool ain't smart at all. And his lawyers are not denying at all that the feds have the evidence. They're not denying it. They're not denying it. Look at what his lawyers are saying. They want to know who authorized the search of Mr. Combs' sleeping area, personal effects, and paperwork. Guess what, y'all? The goddamn feds on Friday go tell them sorry son of a bitches. We got a judge to authorize that, sir. And the reason why we got a judge to authorize that is because we have your dumbass client recorded on phone calls on an illegal cell phone that we actually collected from the raids. So your dumbass client that used this cell phone that we confiscated in the raid, not only was he speaking with contacts that he had not authorization to speak to, but he was speaking to authorized contacts, even you. Because they put that in the report, that Diddy even used the illegal phone to contact his lawyers illegally, and they knew it. They have him on tape. They also said that Diddy used the illegal phone to contact his sons, family members, associates, and other people who were not authorized for him to speak with, right? Then they said, secondly, who determined what paperwork to take? Nigga, a judge probably told them to take all that shit because it was necessary, because they got your client on tape instructing his sons to run down on people. That's why I told y'all Diddy's dumbass sons ran down on that boy. You think they ran down on him without talking to Diddy? Hell no. And we all sitting out here like, dog, these dudes are stupid. Y'all gonna do that and mess up y'all daddy's trial? No, they daddy told them to do that, according to the feds. You don't have to believe me. All y'all gotta do is go to the article in the Associated Press, or you can do what I do, which is not talk shit on YouTube and act like everybody lying on Diddy, but actually read the goddamn paperwork is what I do. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I do. So I know what the hell I'm talking about because I'm reading the paperwork, right? And so I'm going to show you guys on the screen from the Associated Press. I'm going to show you guys this before I leave out of here. Why dumbass Diddy is up out of here, nigga. He don't have no brains and don't have no sense to have a brain. He didn't have no brains when he beat the hell out of Cassie in that hotel hall on tape. He don't have no brains. You understand what I'm saying? When he was texting his sons from jail and texting other people from jail. He didn't have no brains, nigga. When he was writing on notes about payments to Kalina Harper, who hasn't said a word because the feds are probably run down on her ass too. And are probably all up in her financials right now, looking at her accounts, seeing what payments she received, whether it be direct or through third party or in cash, looking at deposits and things like that that they're going to look at. All of these different things. But just for y'all who still have doubt of why Diddy's lawyers are so upset right now, I'm going to show you guys on the screen right now. I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. And when I show y'all this, and you guys see exactly why Diddy's lawyers are shitting bricks right now, and just put out that paperwork that y'all seen on y'all screen, I don't ever, and talk means ever, want to hear from y'all again. Now look, I'm gonna put this on the screen for you guys, right? So y'all can see this right here. Let's put this on the screen, man. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Here we go right here, y'all. Now that is out of the Associated Press, everybody. That is out of the Associated Press, as y'all see. Now we're gonna read this article. We're gonna play read along and show you what the feds got from P. Diddy, because I don't want to read that whole paperwork again and go through a 30-page write-up that they had on Diddy. 30 pages, y'all. They officially had written up on Diddy. But this is what we're going to do right here. I'm going to show y'all what it is right now. Right? So check it out, y'all. Sean Diddy Combs has tried to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion from jail in a bid to affect potential jurors for his upcoming sex trafficking trial. Prosecutors claimed in a court filing urging a judge to reject his latest bail request. The government accusations were made in a Manhattan federal court filing late Friday that opposes the music mogul's latest $50 million bail proposal. A bail hearing is scheduled for next week, meaning it was scheduled for this Friday. Prosecutors wrote that a review, now this is for all of the people who can't read, write, or comprehend. I need you to listen very, very closely. Please understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, because I slow cook you niggas that come in my comment section running y'all monkey mouths. And I'm going to cook y'all every day, all day, even on a Monday, fool. It says that prosecutors wrote that a review of recorded. That means they have this bum on tape. Bum. They got this bum who like to put his hands on women, who allegedly like to put his hands on the youngin' on tape. Prosecutors wrote that a review of recorded jail calls made by Combs shows he has asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses and has urged them to create narratives, quote, narratives on tape, nigga, to influence the jury pool. They say he has also encouraged marketing strategies to sway public opinion. It goes on to say the defendant has shown repeatedly, even while in custody, that he will flagrantly and repeatedly flout rules in order to improperly impact the outcome of his case. The defendant has shown, in other words, that he cannot be trusted to abide by rules or conditions. Prosecutors wrote in a submission that contained redactions. But it gets better. Prosecutors wrote that it could be inferred from his behavior that Combs wants to blackmail victims and witnesses into silence or into providing testimony helpful to his defense. Lawyers for Combs did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Prosecutors say that Sean Dumbass Combs, 55 years old, began breaking rules almost as soon as he was detained, fool, at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn after his September arrest. So they've been following this goddamn fool since he first got arrested. And this damn fool, because the feds let you do it to yourself, he kept going because they never ran down on him. He kept going. He kept going. The feds never went down and said, hey, Diddy, man, we're going to get you right now. You broke the rules. Because, you know, sometimes the cops, they're going to come get, if they get you breaking rules the first time, they're going to get you up out of there. The feds, they're going to let you just keep on compiling shit. They're going to let you build a file. So when they come get you, ain't no wiggle way out. If the nigga Diddy's not lying, why he got to tell people, let's create a narrative. Let's do this. Let's blackmail this. Let's blackmail. Why he got to say all that if he's innocent, y'all? They got the nigga on tape. Why they got to say that? It going to take people to play tape. Then all these niggas that's been capping for this whole ass nigga, they going to disappear. Start talking about other shit. They ain't going to want to talk about Diddy no more. They going to talk about other shit. Ain't going to be no more Diddy videos capping for Diddy. That shit is over with. Hip hop just died this morning. And she's dead. She's dead. The bigger the cat, the bigger the pill, and come through with some ill nigga missing the ceiling. Prosecutors say that Combs, who's 55 years old, began breaking the rules almost as soon as he was detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn after his September arrest. Right? Right? Two judges have concluded he is a danger to the community and a risk to flee. We already know about the bail packages lawyers made. We ain't got to talk about that, right? Right? Diddy's lawyers claimed there was new evidence, but prosecutors said that defense lawyers created their latest bail proposal using some evidence prosecutors turned over to them, and the new material was already known to defense lawyers when they made previous bail applications. In their submission to a judge, prosecutors said Combs' behavior in jail shows he must remain locked up. Let me read that part again for the dumb, deaf, and a mofo blind. The prosecution is saying that Diddy's lawyers are some lying ass, capping ass dudes. And the reason why is they said they already gave Diddy's lawyers the information that Diddy was breaking the jail rules, which is why Diddy's last bail was denied. Read the paragraphs again. But prosecutors said defense lawyers, that's Diddy's lawyers, created their latest bail proposal using some evidence the prosecutors turned over to them, and the new NEW, that means new. That don't mean old. That don't mean washed up. That don't mean dried up. Read that again, because I know some of y'all Negroes didn't go to school, you didn't go to class, your ass was under there doing drugs the whole day in the street. But prosecutors said defense lawyers created their latest bail package, proposal, I should say, using some evidence prosecutors turned over to them, and the new material was already known to defense lawyers when they made previous bail applications. Layman's terms, the new material was already known to these lawyers. They already knew that the feds had seized all of this information and evidence before they even reapplied for the bail. The first times. It says in their submission to a judge, prosecutors said Combs' behavior in jail shows he must remain locked up. Let's keep going. All right? All right? For instance, they said Combs, this is the Ray J situation. Remember y'all said Ray J was capping? And I came in here and told y'all, when every goddamn body on YouTube said Ray J was capping, I said that nigga Ray J ain't capping. I said Ray J's the type of nigga y'all think capping. That nigga ain't capping. Ray J is the type of nigga y'all think capping. He ain't capping. Niggas say, oh man, Ray J cloud chase, he capping. He ain't capping. That nigga wasn't capping. I told y'all this. Ray J was not capping. When Ray J was on, Ray J just, listen, man, this is the effects of people when you go through all that shit you go through in that type of lifestyle. Ray J wasn't capping. It's right here in the paperwork. It says, for instance, they said Combs has enlisted family members to plan and carry out a social media campaign around his birthday with the intention of influencing the potential jury in this criminal proceeding. He encouraged his children to post a video to their social media accounts showing them gathered to celebrate his birthday, they said. Afterwards, I want y'all to think about how diabolical the feds were. Think about this shit. Because Diddy had a cell phone. Now, I want y'all to think about this shit. Think about how the feds got this nigga dead to rights. And they gonna blow this nigga shit up in court. Read that last goddamn paragraph right there on your screen. It says, afterwards, read the paragraph, y'all. Read the paragraph. Read the paragraph, right? It says afterwards, hold on, y'all, let me tell this girl get this goddamn food. Let me tell this girl get this food. Hey, habla puerta. Hey, come here. Man. Hey. Man. Hey, open the door, habla la puerta and my comida, la food. All right. Put that shit in the kitchen, please. Thank you. My bad, y'all. I had to tell Shorty to get my food, man. Y'all know, you know a man got to eat. A man have to eat. You understand what I'm saying? A man has to eat. You know what I'm saying? A man have to eat. I can't just be cooking these niggas all day and don't be eating. You know what I mean? I got to eat now. You feel me? I like my nachos hot, baby. Believe that shit. But back to what I was saying to y'all, right? See, y'all getting the real shit right here. And I ain't eating no nachos today, man. We finna eat some. I'm finna eat a lobster with a little bit of a salad on the side and some steamed vegetables. That's what I'm eating today. So, but yeah. Anyway, so let me get back to this, man. It says that Combs has enlisted family members. And look at the last paragraph I told y'all. It says afterwards, he monitored the analytics, including audience engagement from jail. Now I want y'all to answer this question. This how y'all know the feds got this nigga dead to rights. They got listen, the feds got a snitch on that nigga. Somebody was a mole and set Diddy up. Somebody Diddy trusted over these last couple, and that's why when you go to jail, nigga, before your trial, especially, let me tell y'all something. When you're waiting on your trial before you go to jail, nigga, you don't talk to nobody about your case. You don't do nothing. Diddy is a damn fool. They let Diddy use a cell phone and watch this nigga monitor that's the only way they can know he monitored the analytics if they got the nigga on tape. So they got Diddy on tape. It says afterwards, after he told his children to do that video, they said he monitored the analytics, including the audience engagement from the jail, and explicitly discussed with his family, they got this on tape now, how to ensure that the video had his desired effect on potential jury members in this case, they said. Now, who in their right mind like Diddy going to not only use a cell phone, but look at the analytics, and they got you on video when you think you in low security. Negro, you in jail. And they got you on video. Monitoring the analytics. You can't tell me there's a dummy bigger than this dude. And they got him on tape. Now, what jail prisoner you know is able to monitor analytics on social media in jail? Make that make sense. I need somebody to answer that in the comment section. They ain't got no computers. How you gonna monitor analytics? You ain't got no computers. Make it make sense. Cell phones. He had a cell phone. Keeps going. It said the government also alleged that Combs, during other calls, made clear his intention to anonymously publish information he thought would help his case against the charges. The defendant's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse, who could provide powerful testimony against him, prosecutors wrote. He's done. He's done. He's done. Diddy's going to take a plea bargain, and he's going to snitch. He has no choice now. He has no choice. They have evidence. Evidence. And Diddy's lawyers are admitting that they have this evidence. They're upset because they're saying that the siege and the search of his product was illegal. How is it illegal when you're in jail and they have you on tapes breaking jail rules? They have evidence you broke jail rules. So they use that to go do the searches. Now niggas is gonna say, oh, well, they shouldn't be able to use that because they illegally. No. We're gonna get to the truth, nigga. The truth is is that this nigga's a dirty motherfucker. Period. He's filthy. Right? And if you're innocent, why do you have to go through all of these measures? If you're innocent, why do you have to do that in order to fight your case? If I got to fight my case, I don't have to go out here threatening witnesses and intimidating witnesses and paying off witnesses and doing all that shit. My truth is going to shine in court because the truth is going to stand on its own merits. Right? But I want to read something from this insert to you guys. Right? Right here, that y'all, because I want y'all to see this. Just for those who thought that this shit was a game, I want y'all to see this right here, right? I want y'all to see this, right? Because this is very important, right? Very, very important that you guys hear this. Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste, right? Now, I want y'all to think about this, right? All right? Because it's all written down, and I want to read this to you guys real quick. Because this blows everything that Diddy has said or done and his lawyer in the water. And they know it's over with. They're just getting money from this nigga at this time. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So it says, right? It says right here on filing page 12. It said the court should reject the defendant's request to reopen the bail hearing because the defendant disagrees with the government's use of the term victim. It said that the defendant next accuses the government of misleading the court as to the nature of the certain defendant's communications with another victim. We'll call this person victim number 2. The government did no such thing. The defendant's primary point of contention appears to be the government's characterization of the individual as a victim and quibbling about how to label victim number 2. Now, victim number 2 is a man. Now, everybody's asking, who is victim number 2? I think I know who victim number 2 is. I think you all know who victim number 2 is. I think victim number 2 has a major lawsuit against Diddy right now. I'm not going to say his name, though. I'll let you say it. That's who I think victim number 2 is in that indictment. KW, I think I agree with you, KW. It says victim number 2, an individual whom the defendant continues to pay a significant monthly sum. The defendant does not present any new information or grapple with the actual evidence. The messages and recordings between the defendant and victim 2 on which the government relied at the initial bail hearing are clear on face and consistent with the government's representations. The defendant was leveraging significant financial benefits to cause victim number 2 to adopt his narrative of their relationship. So you know what? I take that back. I don't think it's that dude. I think it's somebody else. I think because look at what they said. You got to listen to what they said. They said victim number 2 was paid off. So victim number 2, that's not that dude. The dude who I thought it was, that's not him. It's a different dude. Because it says right here, it says victim number 2 is an individual who the defendant continues to pay a significant monthly sum. So the feds basically said, we got proof that Diddy's still paying this guy. The victim number 2, we have proof that he's still paying him. They said the defendant does not present any new information or grapple with the actual evidence. It said the messages and recordings between the defendant and victim number 2 on which the government relied at the initial bail hearing are clear on their face and consistent with the government's representations. The defendant was leveraging significant financial benefits to cause victim number 2 to adopt his narrative of their relationship. Whether or not the defendant agrees with the characterization of victim number 2 as a victim for purposes of this criminal case, the communications highlighted by the government indicate that the defendant used financial coercion to attempt to feed victim number 2 a narrative that was consistent with his defense theory, a theory at odds with the contumacious text messages sent by victim number 2 to the defendant and others. Wow. And this is what the victim number 2 said in the text message. They put this in the writing. The defendant, Diddy, this is what the victim number 2, this is a man. Victim number 2 is a man. Victim number 2 put this in a text message. And they're saying that they have the evidence to prove that Diddy flipped victim number 2 with money. Check this out. It said victim number 2 said in a text message, Diddy just threatened me about my sex tapes, where I'm heavily drugged and doing things he asked of me. It says, in light of the defendant's continuing financial support of victim number 2, it is not the government, but rather the defendant that is misleading the court. Right? It goes on to say that the defendant's contacts with witnesses demonstrate the threat he poses to the integrity of these proceedings. It said the defendant's attempts to spin his contacts with witnesses, including witnesses served with grand jury subpoenas. So this witness was served with a grand jury subpoena. This is a man. Victim number 2 is a man. It says, as evidence rebutting the government's proof of obstruction failed in their entirety. For example, the defendant claims that the government misled the court and concealed the actual content of the communication between the defendant and a witness who was served with a grand jury subpoena in June of 2024. It says, witness number 1, as an initial matter, the nature of the substance of the defendant's communication with witness number 1 was known to, right? And check this out, y'all. This is the information I forgot to give y'all, right? This is the information I forgot to give y'all. The government at the bottom of this page, let me see if I put it up here. Right there. No, is that it? Nah, hold on. This is it right here. Right there, y'all. Look at the bottom of that page right there, y'all. They got the evidence on this bitch ass nigga. Look at what it says at the bottom of that page right there. At the very bottom, y'all. Very bottom. It says that they have his bank records, nigga. It said that bank records show the defendant's payments to the victim, number 2, as recently as mid-September 2024. The government has requested and awaiting updated financial documents through the present. They have evidence that that nigga paid off witnesses. Let me keep going. It says that the defendant, right? The defendant at the time of the initial hearing, but more importantly, these contacts, including the fact that the defendant evidently deleted messages from his phone, confirm the government's proffer at the initial hearing and refute statements made by defense counsel. Specifically, phone records show that between the end of 2022, and that's not just Kalina, y'all. Kalina's a different situation. You guys got to remember, they're not just talking about Kalina right here. They're talking about victim number 2, not just witnesses. Victim. So this is a victim. Kalina is not a victim in his case. Kalina was a witness. Remember, this is a man. They referred to this witness number 2 as a man in the writing. You guys keep saying a woman's name. Victim number 2 is not a woman. It is a man. They already referred to victim number 2 as a man in this writing. That's why y'all got to read the paperwork. It says the defendants at the initial time of the hearing, but more importantly, these contacts, including the fact that the defendant evidently deleted messages from his phone, confirmed the government's proffer at the initial hearing and refute statements made by Diddy's counsel. Specifically, phone records show that between the end of 2022 and January 2024, witness number 1, now this is witness number 1, and you know who they're talking about now. Now you're talking about the witness. occasionally contacted Diddy by phone. You know who witness number one is? That now, who's the girl with the big nose we just talked about? Dirty Money. Dirty Money. Dark-skinned girl with the big nose, right? Dark-skinned girl with the big nose. Victim number one. Dirty Money, right? So listen up, y'all. I need y'all to listen up, right? So victim number one, no, it's not Dawn. Dawn is a lawsuit. Dog Mom got it right. So listen up, y'all. Victim number one, they said, from 2022 up until January to 2024 had been trying to contact Diddy. And Diddy wouldn't even respond to it and return her calls. So before this entire federal indictment came down, this person, they have communication. They said that this person continued to try to contact Diddy from 2022 to 2024. Right? Right? Diddy refused to take those calls. Didn't care. Didn't have no lawsuit. Didn't care. Person might have been calling him for money. Might have been needed some money, whatever. Cassie's not a witness. Cassie's victim number one. You guys got to get y'all victims and y'all witnesses together. Cassie is victim number one. Victim number two is a man. Witness number one, big nose girl from Dirty Money, who put out that fake ass statement. Allegedly, I think I snapped. Right? It says specifically, phone records show that between the end of 2022 and January 2024, witness number one occasionally contacted the defendant by phone without any response from Diddy. That changed in June of 2024. This is what it says right here on y'all screen. That changed, y'all can read along with me, from June of 2024. Witness number one, who was served with a grand jury subpoena on June the 19th, 2024, and after contacting the government, was appointed counsel on June the 25th, 2024, meaning she was given a lawyer. So the feds say that Big Nose was grand juried as a witness. She was subpoenaed and grand juried as a witness. She was then given a counsel. She was given legal representation, right? It says that, now listen to this, witness number one was served with a grand jury subpoena on June the 19th, 2024, and after contacting the government was appointed counsel on June the 25th, 2024. Beginning on June the 26th, 2 days later, y'all, only after witness number one had been served with a grand jury subpoena and had counsel, Diddy initiated contact with her, which the defendant attempted to obscure by initially calling, right? Witness number one is not Big Nose. Witness number one is a dude. Witness number two is Big Nose. He said calling witness number one's wife and later communicating with witness number one over a VoIP service, including by text and a call lasting over 7 minutes. Because witness number two is the one with the big nose that he called over 128 times. So witness number one is a man. Witness number two is Big Nose, because the Big Nose the one he called over 120 times. So it says that the following day, phone records indicate that witness number one spoke with counsel for Diddy. Even though witness number one was represented by counsel, he spoke to Diddy's lawyers. It said he and the defendant continued to directly exchange text messages, and the defense counsel spoke directly with their witness again on July the 8th, 2024. Following witness number one's testimony in the grand jury on July 25th, 2024, the defendant Diddy called and texted the witness again. They was tracking Diddy the whole time. It said the defendant's repeated contact with witness number one, despite his apparent knowledge that this witness was represented by a lawyer already and had received a grand jury subpoena already, undermines the defense's counsel's previous denials of the defendant's interference in the government's grand jury investigation and shows that the lawyers cannot stop Diddy from contacting grand jury witnesses. This concern is amplified by the evidence indicating that the defendant appears to have, now look at this, y'all. Read the bottom of y'all screen. This is the evidence right here, right? Right? It says that, and I quote, he did not reach out to grand jury witnesses. I dispute wholeheartedly. He didn't do it and wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it because he has the sense not to do it. And he wouldn't do it because we wouldn't let him do it, you know? Right? Now it goes on to say number 13, right? It says, and I quote, we have studiously avoided interviewing grand jury witnesses. They got Diddy's lawyers lying to the public. They got the quotes right there, and they have the actual evidence of those quotes. And they have put those quotes at the bottom of your screen from Diddy's lawyer. But they have evidence that Diddy's lawyers not only contacted and called the witnesses, but they have the days, the times, and the messages. So Diddy's lawyers lied. They lied. And the feds put the evidence right there. And they showed the CNN interview where Diddy's lawyer lied. Diddy's lawyer sat up there and lied about the baby oil. Oh, we got it from Costco. Costco came out and said, God damn it, we don't sell baby oil in the bulk. Get the hell out of here. You're a liar. Diddy's lawyers lied about talking to grand jury's witnesses, right? Grand jury's witnesses, right? Lied about that. Think about that. His lawyers lied about talking, and they got them niggas on tape. They got them on tape. They literally have these dudes on tape, and they have phone records of them talking to that grand jury witness. They have it on tape. It goes on to say, right? It says that this concern is amplified by evidence indicating that Diddy appears to have deleted his messages with witness number one. Although phone records, this is where his ass is done, confirm that Diddy, using a particular phone number, and the witness exchanged multiple text messages from June 2024 through August 2024. There were no such messages recovered from Diddy's cell phone associated with that phone number. They got that nigga. Witness number two. This is Big Nose now. Big Nose is witness number two. Super Big Nose. Blackistan, the girl. That's the girl right here, right? Big Nose, Dirty Money. Witness number two. Read that right there on y'all screen. The defendant Diddy also claims that his contacts in the September 2024 with an individual represented by counsel, by a lawyer, who wanted to make a public statement, right? So check this out, y'all. The feds are saying that Big Nose, Blackistan, wanted to make a public statement, right? Witness number two, this is Big Nose, right? It says, were not in any way obstructive because Diddy and witness number two were previously in frequent contact. However, the contact between defendant Diddy and witness number two, Big Nose, who were bandmates, they gave it to y'all right there. Dirty Money. Stopped in March of 2024. And from the timeline and context of Diddy's contacts with witness number two, Big Nose, it is clear that when the defendant Diddy reinitiated contact with witness number 2, Big Nose, in September of 2024. His purpose was to ensure that Big Nose, witness number 2, was on his side and pressured, and pressured, and pressured. Read that now, right? Big Nose to make a public statement denying allegations of violence by the defendant. Dirty money. Diddy reached out to Big Nose, witness number 2, on September the 11th, 2024, and sent her a copy of the lawsuit against Diddy, in which Big Nose, witness number 2, name was mentioned several times. Then Diddy then called Big Nose, witness number 2, as they spoke for nearly 6 minutes. After reading the lawsuit, Big Nose, witness number 2, called Diddy back. At his request, they spoke for 4 minutes, over 4 minutes. Evidently, Diddy and Big Nose, witness number 2, discussed Big Nose drafting a statement, as immediately after the call, the defendant, Diddy, told Big Nose in a text message, and that's the part that's blacked out. The first part that's blacked out, read it right there, y'all. They got the text message the nigga sent the girl. But these niggas say, oh, ain't no evidence, man. I mean, nigga, shut up, nigga. There's evidence right there. They actually put the text message in the goddamn writing. It says that Diddy then asked Big Nose for her attorney's name. Y'all know who Big Nose is? The black girl from Dirty Money with the big nose. Love and Hip Hop. Come on, man. Y'all stop playing. So it goes on. From September the 11th, 2024 through September the 15th, 2024, as Diddy and Big Nose exchanged multiple text messages and had multiple calls, at least 128 phone contacts in total. He called this girl 128 times. Through these phone contacts, Diddy repeatedly asked Big Nose when she planned to post her statement. That little blacked out line at the end is Diddy incriminating himself. And that shit will be spoken in court on Friday. All that black part, the incriminating shit, is going to be spoken. And the reason why they blacked it out is because the names are there. And they can't use the names until they go to court. So that's why they use victim number 1, witness number 1, because in the actual messages, they're using names. And they cannot put victim as in a quote. They have to put your actual name in a quote. So the parts that are blacked out is because those are the names. And they can't reveal the names because they have to protect their witnesses. So they can only describe the witnesses. They can't use the names. For y'all who don't know, nigga, now you know. And it shows more messages as well. And it says Big Nose, witness number 2, right? Ultimately made a statement about their lawsuit via Instagram post on September the 13th, 2024. Right? Shows that blacked out. Then it says, then after Diddy was in custody, BOP investigators recovered the following notes from Diddy's jail cell during a pre-planned nationwide sweep of BOP facilities. And guess what? They showed the niggas notes with her name in it. But they had to black it out because they can't put her name on this writing because it was public information. They'll say it in court. It says XE, the strong inference, the strong inference to be drawn from the defendant's Diddy's communications with Big Nose and his personal notes is that Diddy paid Big Nose after she posted her statement. From the timeline, the content and the context of the communications between Diddy and Big Nose, the defendant Diddy's clear goal was for Big Nose to draft and post a statement, even after Diddy knew that Big Nose had counsel or a lawyer. It said he continued to reach out to her directly, a fact that clearly concerned Judge Carter, and rightfully so. Diddy had multiple phone calls with Big Nose up to and including March 2024 changes nothing about the damning timeline and content of the calls in September of 2024. These communications are another example of the defendant, right, using manipulation, influence, and power to persuade witnesses to support him. Right? 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 And so at the bottom of this page, it says, with respect to materials received from the BOP that included possibly privileged materials, such as the notes recovered from Diddy's jail cell, the prosecution team only accessed those materials after they had been reviewed by the filter team. Right? Discussing the potential options, including government filter team for review of potentially privileged search warrant materials. So the government saved their ass because the government says that they had a filter team go through that first before they reviewed those notes. So legally, they covered themselves. Based on the foregoing, the defendant Diddy has not demonstrated that he's entitled to reopen the bail hearing. Right? It's over with, y'all. It's over with, y'all. Right? And I'm just telling you guys what it is, man. And it goes on to cook Diddy ass, man. I mean, bro, they cook Diddy's ass. Straight up. Right? So it says also, right, that Diddy, and I told you guys, it says that Diddy was using those illegal cell phones to contact his family members. And listen, it says this. Third, let me see if I can get this on here. See if I can get this on here for y'all. It says third, hold on. Voluminous discovery alone is not a basis for release under either Bail Reform Act or the Sixth Amendment. Right? Right? Now I want y'all to listen to what this says right here, right? Right? Listen to what this says, man. Because this shit gets real crazy, man. It gets real crazy, man. So it says, finally, the defendant's Diddy's complaint about the conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center come as a surprise to the government, given the contrary public statements made by Diddy's lawyers and statements made by Diddy's monitored calls. Additionally, the defense, Diddy's counsel, had made no attempt to confer. Now check this out, y'all. This is what it says at the bottom of the screen. It says on my page, it says right here, get the defendant's complaint that he still does not have a laptop is overstated. At defense counsel's request, the government prioritized production of Diddy's electronic devices, which Diddy is not entitled to keep at the jail due to their designation as attorney possession only. The bulk of materials that the Diddy is entitled to keep at the jail were only produced recently, and immediately following the production of those materials, the government began preloading Diddy's laptops and accepts to provide the laptop to the defense counsel in short order, right? And so it just says that Diddy's lawyers say the food is probably the roughest part of Diddy's life in prison. And they showed that actual quote from Diddy's lawyers, right? It goes on to say that Diddy poses a serious risk to obstruction of justice, danger, and flight. Now it says, now check this out, y'all. Check this out, y'all. This is crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It says that Diddy has continued his efforts to obstruct justice. It said, as noted above, the evidence presented to judge, and check this out, y'all. The evidence, right, presented to Judge Tarnowski and Judge Carter amply supported their findings that Diddy posed a risk to obstruction of justice, obstruction justifying pretrial detention, and would be sufficient for this court to find the same. However, to the extent there was any doubt about Diddy's risk of obstruction at the time of the prior bail hearings, such doubt is now non-existent. It says, since Diddy has been detained in jail, he has continued to try to evade the law. And at the bottom of the screen, it shows quotes. And it says, since Diddy's arrest, the government has continued investigating Diddy's obstructive conduct and began receiving recordings of Diddy's BOP calls in October of 2024. These calls in their entirety will be produced to Diddy through a filter team prior to the bail hearing scheduled for November the 22nd, 2024, this Friday, y'all. It said the government did not previously disclose these recordings due to its ongoing investigation. Tony Gilmore, it's hard to read when the words are 2 inches tall, sir. So shut your bitch ass up, nigga. I'm trying to read it off the screen. God damn it, I don't got no goddamn on microscopic glass. I'm squinting trying to read the goddamn on words like you are. The hell is wrong with you, son? They put these words so small because remember, it's hard to blow up these documents. It says the government did not previously disclose these recordings due to its ongoing investigation, but is now doing so now given the recent escalation in the defendant's efforts to influence the jury pool in this criminal case set out in detail below. So Diddy's lawyers are being provided today with Diddy's recordings in jail of him breaking the law. So that's why Diddy's lawyers wrote that statement today and wrote that they are not in doubt that the evidence against Diddy is real. They just want to know who authorized the search. They're not denying that the evidence is real because the government says that, once again, let me read this sentence again to y'all. It says that since Diddy's arrest, the government has continued investigating Diddy's obstructive conduct and began receiving recordings of Diddy's BOP calls in October of 2024. These calls in their entirety will be produced to Diddy through a filter team prior to the bail hearing that's scheduled this Friday. The government says they did not previously disclose these recordings due to its ongoing investigation, but is doing so now, given the recent escalation in Diddy's efforts to influence the jury pool in this criminal case set out in detail below. It goes on to say, once again, it says there was any doubt about Diddy's risk of obstruction at the time of the prior bail hearings. Such doubt is now non-existent, y'all, is what they're saying. And it's saying it is non-existent since Diddy has been detained at jail. He's continued to try to evade law enforcement monitoring, corruptly influence witness testimony, and furtherly, right, attack the integrity of these proceedings. And then it goes on to say specifically while in custody in jail at the MDC, Diddy has repeatedly communicated with others in ways to violate BOP rules and are designed to evade BOP and law enforcement monitoring, including as described below, using PAC numbers belonging to other inmates to make calls, using three-way calls to contact other individuals, including individuals who are not on his approved contact list, and using unauthorized third-party communication systems to send messages to numerous individuals, including unauthorized contacts. That means all them people Diddy was messaging, they gonna get going down too, cause the feds know all the people that Diddy messaged illegally. So all y'all that Diddy was messaging, they on y'all ass too. They investigating all y'all shit, phone records, all bank records, all that shit. It goes on to say that the other inmates' PAC numbers that the government reviewed dozens of recordings from BOP jail calls in which Diddy used telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates, in which is against BOP regulations, seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring. Diddy uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls to both individuals on Diddy's approved contact list as well as other individuals who are not on the approved contacts list to obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC's numbers. Diddy directs others to pay the inmates, including through payment processing applications and BOP commissionary account deposits. Diddy knows this is against BOP regulations. At the outset of each telephone call, the inmate is prompted to enter his PAC number, after which the automated recording announces sharing of PAC numbers is against BOP policy and is subject to disciplinary action. This is even deeper right here, y'all, because at the bottom of this page, number 8, footnotes, it says when an inmate enters federal custody, he is generally permitted to communicate with out of custody individuals, including friends and family members. To do so, the inmates provide a contact list, which includes the individual's name, phone number, and email address. The BOP staff must approve individuals on these contact lists, and inmates are not authorized to contact individuals who are not on their contact list. Additionally, telephone calls and emails to non-attorneys are monitored by BOP to ensure that the messages do not jeopardize the public or the safety, security, or orderly operation of the facility. When inmates make telephone calls, they are required to use a PAC number or phone access code that is connected to their unique BOP register number. Inmates access email using TrueLink's system, which is operated by a company called Core Links. True Links is a free-based system that inmates must pay for to send and receive emails using the True Links computer system. Three-way calling evidence against Diddy. In addition to flouting, and this is crazy, y'all. In addition, right? Three-way calling, my bad. The defendant also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone. Diddy says Diddy also frequently instructs individuals. And this is where they got him right here, y'all. This is where they got him right here. I'll tell y'all this right here. It says so the Diddy also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone, including family members and his lawyers, to add other individuals. Listen to this again. It said Diddy also frequently instructed individuals who he contacted by telephone, including his family members and his lawyers. They got Diddy's lawyers done. Diddy's lawyers are done. Look what this shit says. They have evidence, one more time, that Diddy illegally used his lawyers. Diddy's done. Diddy's lawyers could fuck around and be in contempt of court. Listen to this. It says Diddy also frequently instructed individuals who he contacted by telephone, including his family members and his lawyers, to add other individuals via three-way call. This nigga's toast. This practice is also not authorized by BOP as it helps conceal the identities of contacted individuals. The government has received multiple calls in which Diddy has instructed others to dial in third parties, including members and associates of enterprises and individuals who are not on Diddy's contact list. Diddy's lawyers are done. They just exposed Diddy's lawyers as well. They had them niggas on tape, and they're going to provide the tapes to his lawyers. His lawyers are going to be in contempt. Diddy is done. They got this nigga. It says non-authorized messaging services, right? You can keep making fake channels, sir. I'm gonna block your ass every time. No matter. You just gonna get blocked. It says in addition to flouting BOP rules regarding phone use, Diddy also used a non-authorized third-party messaging service called Contact Me ASAP to obscure his communications. The Diddy appears to be using the two Contact Me ASAP accounts. First, Diddy's BOP contact list includes a particular email address assigned to Diddy's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by Diddy's son, but instead appears to be an email address connected to the Contact Me ASAP app. Secondly, Diddy appears to be using another inmate's Contact Me ASAP account, primarily using email number one. Diddy has exchanged hundreds of text messages via Contact Me ASAP with dozens of individuals, including his lawyers and individuals who are not on his contact list. Diddy and his lawyers are done. His lawyers may go to prison. Diddy's lawyers may go to prison. They have Diddy's lawyers breaking rules with Diddy. They have his lawyers breaking rules. His lawyers may go to prison. It said that Diddy's repeated circumvention of BOP regulations, starting almost immediately after arriving at the Metropolitan Detention Center, speaks volumes about his ability to comply with any conditions of his release. And at the bottom, they put evidence. Number 9, evidence. According to the Contact Me ASAP website, which you can use on https dot backslash backslash contactmeasap.com. The service purports to be an innovative text messaging service for federal inmates to communicate with loved ones via real-time messages and claims to offer seamless SMS conversations. Contact Me ASAP provides an email address for the inmate, which is then put on the inmate's TrueLink's computer. And from there, the inmate can immediately use the service to text contacts. Even more concerning, however, is Diddy's use of the unauthorized messages of communications to continue his efforts to obstruct and subvert the criminal proceeding. The Diddy's intentions are reflected in his own words on BOP calls with a network of family members and associates whom Diddy has tasked with the executing of his will. On multiple calls, often using PAC members of other inmates, Diddy is explicit about his intention to use public statements to alter public perception, and Diddy leaves no doubt that the narrative he wants to create and push is that he wants to basically control and manipulate, I should say, is the potential jury pool's perception of this criminal proceeding. Examples of these efforts are plentiful, and they show the examples, but they blocked them out of Diddy's messages. They put them on his screen right there. It says, notably, Diddy continued these efforts after the court's October the 25th, 2024 order requested by the defense prohibiting exactly this sort of conduct. After court entered the order, Diddy enlisted his family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around his birthday with the intentions of influencing a potential jury in his criminal proceeding. At Diddy's carefully curated direction, the defendants, Diddy's children, posted a video to their respective social media accounts showing Diddy's children gathered to celebrate his birthday. Diddy, from within jail, then monitored the analytics, audience engagement, and explicitly discussed with his family how to ensure that this video has its desired effect on potential jury members in this case. And they wrote and they provided the evidence of Diddy's messages to his kids. Besides flagrantly violating the court's October the 25th, 2024 order prohibiting this type of interference with a fair trial, Diddy's own words make it clear that his intent is to improperly influence the jury pool in the criminal proceeding. Diddy does not stop there. Other calls that were monitored, Diddy makes clear that his intention to anonymously publish information that he thinks will help the defense in his case. And they also presented that evidence in full, right? Also, let me put this on the screen right here. So y'all can see how all that shit is blocked out because it has people's names in it. And those names will be revealed on Friday in court. But it says that anonymously leaked video favorable to his defense in the case show that he is using his so-called quote unquote public relations strategy to influence the criminal case. Diddy's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse. But y'all say Diddy ain't do that shit. Oh, he innocent. That nigga ain't beat nobody. That nigga ain't, he innocent, nigga. He ain't do nothing. Look at this shit again. Diddy's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse, who could provide powerful testimony against this whole ass nigga. For example, and they gave receipts. Y'all niggas wanted receipts, they gave you whole ass niggas receipts. For example, on October the 4th, 2024, in a call involving the defendant, Diddy, and one of his adult sons, Diddy says, and they blacked out what he said because the son's name is in it. But that's going to be revealed on Friday. All that blacked out part is everything they have recorded. And on Friday, when they get to court, you will hear the names of which son Diddy ordered to do what. It's right there on your screen. It said that this provides the clear interference that is Diddy's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony to help his defense. And they can't say, hey, man, Diddy didn't do it because they have the evidence. He did it right there. It's blacked out. His quotes, they have them on tape, nigga. And they said they're providing those tapes to his lawyers today. That nigga lawyers going to jail too. Get all them bums the hell up out of here, nigga. You like to beat on ladies? You allegedly like to put your hands on kids, nigga? Yeah, nigga, take your ass to jail, nigga. In addition, right, it says the defendant Diddy is a danger to others. In addition to failing to meaningfully contend with the ongoing risk of the obstruction that Diddy poses, he also spends no time addressing the significant acts of physical violence that the government highlighted at the initial hearing. Remember I told y'all they said they got Diddy on tape slamming girls' heads in the car windows? Y'all thought that shit was cap. They really got that shit on tape, and they're going to play that shit when they go to trial. They're going to play that shit when they go to trial. Now, I tell y'all this. They said in the initial hearing that they have videotapes of Diddy slamming girls' heads in the car windows. But y'all didn't want to listen to me. You going to listen to that goddamn tape when they go to court, though. It says, which led Judge Carter to conclude that Diddy is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence. Evidence. Read it on your screen. I ain't got to make it up. The judge saw the evidence of Diddy slamming those girls' heads in the car windows. At the first trial, Judge Carter. That's why he denied that nigga's bail. Remember I told y'all in the first trial, they had the tapes of Diddy slamming girls' heads in the car windows, windshields, and y'all didn't want to believe that shit? That's the reason why the judge denied Diddy's, and it says, which led to Judge Carter to conclude that the defendant Diddy is a quote unquote danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence, nigga. Indeed, as the record before this court makes clear, the Diddy's long history of violence demonstrates his dangerousness. Moreover, contrary to Diddy's claim that the evidence is thin, evidence supporting Diddy's long history of abuse including witness testimony, communications, photos, videos, police reports, and other materials demonstrate the strength of the government's case against Diddy, a factor considered by the court under 18 USC 3142. Didn't I tell these niggas they ain't want to listen to me though? They ain't want to listen to me. They showed the judge the fucking videos, y'all. But these people online don't want to listen. They showed the judge the video of this nigga slamming the girl head in the car. I told y'all that the first time they didn't want to listen. That's why the judge said that he's a danger to society. But y'all didn't want to listen to me. Y'all don't read the paperwork, nigga. I read the fine print. Read that line again. I put it on the screen for y'all right there. It said that evidence supporting Diddy's long history of abuse, including witness testimony communications, photos and videos, police reports, and other materials demonstrates the strength of the government's case against Diddy, a factor considered by the court. You guys, oh no, man, I ain't seen it. Man, the judge saw the evidence in the bail hearing. The public will see the evidence in Diddy's trial. I try to tell you niggas. They showed the judge the video of that nigga slamming that girl head in that car window. And they said that shit in the goddamn bail hearing. And niggas still didn't want to believe this shit. Walk around like a bunch of goddamn zombies. Come to my comment section acting like a bunch of fools. What the hell is wrong with y'all? It says, as charged in the indictment, Diddy has engaged in physical, sexual, and emotional abuse of his romantic partners for years. Diddy has also engaged in acts of violence towards his employees and many others, including kidnapping, arson, and physical violence, such as throwing objects at people, throwing people to the ground, and hitting, kicking, dragging, choking, stomping on, and shoving others. Multiple witnesses, including the Diddy's employees and others, observed and or experienced Diddy's violence firsthand. Remember, I told y'all they're gonna have like 100 witnesses when they go to court. They're not only gonna have the tapes; they're gonna have eyewitnesses that work for Diddy that said that they witnessed this shit. They put this right here in the writing. It said that Diddy's acts of violence show there's no condition or combination of conditions that will adequately safeguard others in the community. Right? Right? And then they show a person's message about Diddy. Right? The danger, I think, is quite serious. There have been weapons around. There has been significant violence. And I also think it's significant that there has, I think, been a proffer of significant evidence of coercion of witnesses. Read that part again. It says the danger, this is what was in a quote from one of the witnesses on Diddy. The danger, I think, is quite serious. There have been weapons around. They're saying that Diddy had guns around. Also, there have been significant violence, and I also think it's significant that there has, I think, been a proffer of a significant evidence of coercion of witnesses. End quote. I also find that the government has proven that the defendant is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence. That's what the judge said. Let me read that again, because these niggas saying, oh no, nigga, ain't no evidence, nigga, I ain't see no evidence. The judge saw the evidence, nigga, because they showed the judge the tapes. Let me read that part again from the trial, September the 18th, 2024 in the trial, right? This is the judge right here, right? Right? This is the judge. The judge who witnessed these videos, messages, this is what the judge said, right? Now read this right here, right? The danger, I think, is quite serious. There have been weapons around. There has been significant violence. And I also think that it's significant that there has, I think, been a proffer of significant evidence of coercion of witnesses. Then he goes on to say that I also find that the government has proven that Diddy is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence. Clear and convincing evidence. Read at the top of your screen. It's right there on the top of your screen. The judge says that he saw evidence. Why would a judge lie in a bail hearing about hearing evidence? Make it make sense. Why would a judge lie in court about seeing the evidence? He said, I also find that the government has proven that Diddy is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence. Read that on the first paragraph of your screen. So when these mumbo jumbos come in the comments, hey man, I ain't seen no evidence. Nigga, the judge seen the evidence. While far from the only example. Now look at this, y'all. Remember these niggas was running around here? Oh man, all they got is the Cassie tape, nigga. They using the Cassie tape, nigga. Man, nigga, shut up, nigga. I told you niggas they got 1 million tapes. Didn't I tell you niggas in the first hearing that they had the tape of the nigga slamming the girl's head through the car window? Didn't I tell you niggas that they got the tapes in the hotel lobby when they got all them girls going up there for the freak off, nigga? Did they got the plane records, the phone records, the bank records to prove that shit? That when Cassie got her ass whooped in that hotel, that was a freak off she was at? And them niggas got all them other girls in them videos in the hotel lobby coming in the hotel? And they got all of the records, witnesses, phone records, bank records, payments, all that shit? Read it and weep. Second paragraph. Read the second paragraph, y'all. This destroys anybody that says, oh, well, all they got is a Cassie tape. No, they don't. It says, while far from the only example. Read that line again for y'all who didn't go to school. While far from the only example, the video on March the 16th, that's the Cassie tape, incident at the International Hotel, discussed at length at both previous hearings, puts Diddy's dangerousness on full display. Although the defense counsel conceded that the incident was relevant to Judge Carter's determination of dangerousness, Diddy fails to address it with the respect to the present motion. Instead, he repeats his prior characterization of his relationship with victim number one as complex and at sometimes toxic, meaning Cassie, and pivots to Diddy's philanthropic endeavors and family relationships in an effort to distract. The nigga's lawyer even said Diddy was a church boy. He was a choir boy. Come on, man. The nigga's lawyer said that when Diddy was a kid, he was a choir. He was a choir boy. He was an usher in a church. Come on, bro. He really said that shit in court. It says, but Diddy's personal relationships and charity work does not neutralize or erase the video evidence showing him punching a female, dragging her, throwing a vase at her, and kicking her. And some, Diddy cannot walk away from the clear record in this case. His inability to explain away his long history of violence, including the March 2016 incident captured on film, is a fatal blow to his application of release. The defendant's extensive history of violence makes him a danger to those around him, and the safety of the community cannot be ensured short of his continued detention. Noting that a willingness to strike loved ones offers probative evidence to tendencies of violence and dangerousness towards others. Diddy's continues to pose a potential flight risk of flight, y'all. It says that too, right? Right? So I'm just telling you guys, man, they have, you know, it says that the steeper the potential sentence, the more probable flight risk is, especially considered the strong case of the government, is what the judge said in another hearing. Back in, man, bro, I don't even, man, this is crazy, bro. This is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable, man. He's done. He's done, man. It says that, furthermore, Diddy's proposal to restrict visitors to select family members is also insufficient. Since being in custody, Diddy has deployed. Now, look at this, y'all. Put this on the screen for y'all. This is the part that's going to destroy Diddy, too. Put this on the screen for y'all right here. Read that, y'all. Read that part right there, y'all. They have evidence. This nigga's done. It says, furthermore, Diddy's proposal to restrict visitors to select family members is also insufficient. Now watch this, y'all. It says, since being in custody, they also got this shit on tape too. So niggas can't say, oh, this is cap. No, they got it on tape, nigga. Diddy has deployed family members to carry out obstructive conduct on his behalf, Ray J's situation. As evidence in jail calls. Now listen, they got this on jail calls. Read that line again. Since being in custody, Diddy has deployed family members to carry out obstructive conduct on his behalf. Ray J. They mentioned the Ray J situation in this. It also goes on to say, as evidence as evidence in jail calls, Diddy asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses to create, quote, narratives. Diddy told them to create narratives. So niggas who saying, oh man, y'all niggas is lying, create narratives. Nigga, they got Diddy on tape telling people to create narratives, nigga. Create narratives. Read that right there, y'all. To influence the jury pool and pursue marketing strategies to sway public opinion. That's what Diddy said. They got him on tape. And they provided the tapes to Diddy's legal counsel. It said Diddy's emphasis on 24/7 private security is also problematic. Diddy has demonstrated an uncanny ability to get others to do his bidding, employees, family members, and inmates in the MDC jail alike. There's no reason to believe that private security personnel would be immune. It says, also, it goes down here and says that uh, at any rate, right, Diddy's private jail proposal at best elaborately replicates a detention facility without the confidence of security such as facility instills. Right? It says, moreover, the Second Circuit has expressly decried attempts like Diddy's to pay his way out of detention. Diddy's updated proposal simply does not alleviate the risk of danger, obstruction, and flight, particularly in the light of Diddy's ability to comply with the BOP regulations and his efforts to exchange in obstructive conduct even while subject to monitoring at jail. I'm telling y'all this right now, man. Diddy's gonna end up taking a plea. He gonna have to take a plea. He got to snitch. After his lawyers wrote this letter this morning, his lawyers admitted that they have evidence. His lawyers said, in fact, the government is in possession of the written material, but he said they're saying that is privileged material that the government has. The government says, no, nigga, your boy broke the law. We had a search that had nothing to do with him over the jail, and we discovered many of these things, and we put it through our filter team before we reviewed it, right? Diddy's lawyers, they're asking 3 questions before we go. It says the first question is, who authorized the search of Mr. Combs' sleeping area, potential witnesses, potential effects, and paperwork, right? Personal effects and paperwork. Secondly, who determined what paperwork to take? And thirdly, who decided to give this paperwork to the United States Attorney's Office? Diddy's lawyers are shitting bricks because they know they got him dead to rights, and they got them niggas breaking the law with Diddy because the government saying that Diddy's lawyers were helping Diddy contact illegal contacts on 3-way. So his lawyers, they're saying his lawyers are dirty too, and they're gonna get destroyed in court on Friday. They're gonna destroy their ass in court. His lawyers are gonna get shot down for unethical practices. Y'all gonna see. The feds just let Diddy set himself up because they knew he was desperate. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I don't know if you can break it down better than this, but there ain't no more way to get no capping. It's over with, y'all. I'm just telling y'all what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, man. You know, it's just food for thought. Y'all niggas do the dishes.